What is up, my friends? Good morning. Look at that crow. Can't even say, yeah, you can. It is an absolutely beautiful Wednesday morning. Here in Arkansas, that is enchilada day. Go through your favorite enchilada stores drive-through. Curbside pickup, call it in. Get you some enchiladas for lunch. I don't recommend eating them with someone else right now unless you are around them all the time anyway. But, man, ain't it great to have some kind of normalcy at a time like this. Man, I just wanted to log in this morning and let you know that I love you and I care about you and I'm thinking about you and that you are a bad motherfucker. It really doesn't matter how you feel about yourself right now, because in the end, you're going to realize that you made it through whatever it is that's happening right now. And all of us are going through some shit right now. The whole fucking world. Kind of self-imposed, some of it. You know, they say they wanted to shut the country down so that we didn't have an overrun on our hospitals. Good morning, Jeff. Oh, yes. There's the boy. Good morning, James. They didn't want to have a run on our hospitals. They shut the country down because they were afraid our hospitals were going to get overwhelmed and that we wouldn't be able to take care of those who were sick. Well, that's not happening. In the places where we have hot spots and we have a lot of COVID cases, of course we don't need to open the country back up there. And every time the president has talked about opening the country back up, he's talked about leaving it up to the governors regionally, because that is who is paying attention to everything. Their local health departments, their local numbers. Give them the decision. Let them make the decision. So if we can open parts of the country, like my great state, Arkansas, who was blessed to not really have that much of a blow from this shit, except for financially, because of the shutdown, they can open back up with restrictions as stipulated by the list of federal guidelines, which is social distancing, wearing a mask if you're sick. If you're sick, why the fuck are you going out anyway? Wearing a mask, and they've said this repeatedly, everybody does, is to protect you from me. Well, if you've been tested and you know you don't have it, and you know no one who's around you has had it, why wear a damn mask? Some may say because you're asymptomatic. If there are no cases, even in your county, you can't possibly be asymptomatic because you don't have it. And regionally, the people in your county or your state government will know this because of the CDC. There's nothing to be scared of. Don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, stay home and let the rest of the world get about their lives. If you think me going and feeding my family is going to put you in danger, that just doesn't make sense. Because you won't be in danger if you're staying at home, according to the guidelines. Well, not anymore, but according to federal guidelines for everybody else who do have a hot spot, you can pretend you're in a hot spot. You can pretend that you're in danger not killing anybody by working or feeding my family. Think about this. There are more than likely at least 1,000 people who killed themselves that we haven't found yet in their homes. There are likely people who've starved to death. There are likely people who had COVID-19 who never went and saw a doctor. All over the fucking world. Thousands in the United States. Overdoses are at an all-time high. Suicides, way the fuck up there, if not at an all-time high. Think positive. We're going to get through this. When you get on the internet, because that's all the interaction a lot of people have right now, be positive. Put a post out on Facebook. I love you and I care about you and I'm thinking about you and you are a badass. Tell somebody it's going to be okay. Just post that if you can't post nothing else. It's going to be okay. Even if you're not sure it will be. Because let me tell you, it's going to be okay. We went through far worse than this several times without science, without mitigation. And by the way, anyone who says the president didn't listen to scientists is a fucking moron, because he had the sons of bitches every day on the air telling you what they were doing and what they were doing from his perspective. He got up there, they got up there. Now, and they pounced on it every chance they got. If Fauci said anything that contradicted the president or seemingly contradicted the president, they pounced on it and said Trump wasn't listening. Fauci says he did. There are people who said Trump listened to every single thing they said. This is the best president in our lifetimes, and I will tell you now, if this had happened under any other president, think about Hillary Clinton. If this had happened under any other president, we would be fucked. Especially a Democrat president, because you got Democrat states right now that are taking your rights away. Gestapo shit. You've got liberal judges. There's a woman in Texas who went to jail for 7 days and got fined for opening up her salon. When she went to jail, they gave her a ticket, arrested her ass. She went to jail. The judge says, I'll let you off with just the fine if you'll apologize. She says, I'm not apologizing. I need to feed my family. These people who work for me need to feed their family. I'm not apologizing for feeding people. And the judge gave her 7 days in jail. The people who went in that salon to get work done made a choice to exercise their freedom, as did the woman who opened the salon. Freedom. A lot of people really don't understand that concept. I've argued with Canadians. I've argued with all kinds of people. I've had great discussions with people. My buddy Kendall Wright just sent me a message that said I'm a bad motherfucker. No, Kendall. You're a bad motherfucker. When you get home today, just look around. Motherfucking badass. Where you come, how far you've come in your whole life, everything you've got, all the shit you own, how far you've come in the last 5 years. Think about it. You're my fucking hero. Kendall Wright. Badass. Yes. Freedom. Freedom isn't free. Freedom comes at a cost. It always does. If you're scared, stay home. You have the freedom to do that. Other people deserve the freedom of choice to go do their shit. Now, if we had socialized medicine, Medicaid for all, or all this shit, oh yeah, the government would have every single right to mandate whether or not you stay home to save taxpayer dollars. But we don't. The government's not paying for this shit. Hospital bills will still come to the motherfuckers who went in the hospital. They're not writing that shit off. They're going to sue you for it. So yeah, the government has no right to tell you to stay inside. The government has no right to tell you to wear a fucking mask. The government has no right to infringe on your freedom of choice. It's not like wearing a fucking seatbelt. In fact, they don't have the right to tell you that shit. They do have the right to mandate that cars have them, though. It's freedom. This is just a big cash in. This is a certain block of people who want our economy to be bad. They want things as bad as they possibly can so they can blame the president and hope that nobody will vote for him. As dumb as that seems, if we did not have Donald Trump and our economy and our workforce was not where it was, this would be 1,000 times worse. 1,000 times worse. And guaranteed the federal government would be fucking with our rights. Guns. Freedom of travel. You have liberal judges siding with this, saying, oh yeah, this law is constitutional, when obviously it's not a constitutional law to restrict your travel, to restrict your freedom. There are the majority of people who aren't ready to go out. That's because there are arguably places in this country that should not be open. But there are places that have no problem. And most of these places are the places who are feeding people. They're killing fucking pigs, throwing away mountains of potatoes. Why not just say, hey, come pick these up if you need them? Seems like the great thing to do. Wendy's has run out of fucking hamburger meat. You ever thought that would happen? We're going to get through this. It's going to be okay. Be strong. Think positive. Exude positivity. Help your brothers out. Be good to one another. I love you. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Find something positive to occupy your mind with. If you're stuck in the house, fucking find something to do. Watch old Steve Rob's video from this morning. Steve Rob. You go search for him. He's talking about Canadian media. I don't promote Steve enough because Steve, he's a free thinker. Critical thinker on top of that. And he comes up with things that you wouldn't even think of. Smart man to retire at the age he is. So yeah, you got to honor the intelligence in people like that. I love you. Have a good one.
Little doggy.